We're recording, and all right. So this is episode 41. We're gonna do the horror list.
Yep.
All right.
Top 5
So
non-franchise horror movies.
how do you wanna do this? Do you want to say one and then I say one? I didn't organize mine into which one's my favorite out of them. Of course, you know what? It's too hard to do. I'm good with how they're listed.
I just put them randomly. Just know these are the top 5.
All right. So I'm gonna give you one, and then you tell me
And
if
then
it's
you
on your list or not. And if it's not, or it is, let me know. And then you give me one, and I'll tell you back. How's that?
got it.
All right, so my first one is 1974's Black Christmas, and that's the one where, um, in the last podcast, I mentioned I didn't realize about the remake thing.
Well,
So for its replacement, I'm
technically,
just. Did you say Black Christmas?
no, it was going to be, but I didn't keep it on because of the remake. 2 remakes actually.
There was two remakes. I know there was
There
the
was,
Lacey Chabert one.
and then there was another one, Black Christmas, 3 years ago. Garbage piece of garbage. But
Oh well, so the nice thing is I can actually. So the movie I thought of in the last podcast, which I didn't tell you about it, I'm gonna replace it. I'm putting Blood Diner on there.
why not?
I freaking love
There's
that
no way that
movie.
there's no way that cost a million.
Well, these didn't cost a million though.
I know. I'm just saying.
But there's no, yeah, you're right. There's no way
I'm
that
just kind
that's
of
the one I couldn't
overlap.
find the budget for. So I'm gonna say, all right. So screw Black Christmas because wasn't aware of that other thing. Oh shit! How many of these other ones have been redone? None of them, I don't think. All right. So
Well, you got yours. So Blood Diner.
yeah, Blood Diner. All right.
Not
What
on
do you
mine.
got?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
It's in my honorable mentions. I wasn't sure if you would argue with me that it's a comedy or not, so I put it in my honorable
It's
mentions.
horror. There's some fucked up images in that movie.
Oh
Like
God,
the
it's
like
dark.
the kid in the McDonald's where the clown's outside and like, come on out. Yeah.
Oh,
And drinking the
very
blood out of the cotton candy cocoons. That's a horror movie.
very Pennywise.
And using the one cop as a dummy.
Oh my God, yeah. They even yep. Yeah,
And he
it's funny
pulls his
that
hand out and that's all bloody.
yeah, that is definitely a horror movie.
That's it's got comedic tones, but it's definitely horror.
It's yeah, that was in my honorable mention one. I did have it on there. This one I could have actually probably gone to 10 on, and then I stopped looking after about 7. So technically I did not have that one. My next one would be Bubba Hotep.
Nope, didn't have that one.
I don't
I don't know if that would I don't know if I would consider that horror necessarily.
so that's why I have my honorable one because it is a mummy movie, but I think it's almost a suspense thriller comedy. It was a tough one. It is listed as horror online.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but horror is subjective, I guess. I wouldn't consider that one a horror necessarily.
Well, the crap I took before this could be considered a
Because
comedy and a
if you
horror.
consider it a mummy, then the Mummy with Brendan Fraser is a horror, not an action adventure.
True. So that's why I have my honorable mentions. I put a few honorable mentions to make up for the ones I knew you would argue with me on. And the funny thing is the ones I knew you would argue with me on, I argued with myself, which is
Well,
why I made the honorable mention thing.
yeah.
That should have told me right there not to put it on. So I do have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, like you did also, as my honorable mention to cover up for any mistakes I made.
Okay, well, it's bound to happen.
Yeah. All right. What else you got?
Next up, I got Green Room.
I have not seen Green Room.
Fantastic movie. You should see it.
It's not even that old of a movie, is it?
Maybe 5 years ago.
I was gonna say I didn't think it came up on a lot of lists when I was doing searches and stuff, but I did not see that one.
Oh, that's a
Um,
fact. That's a. But see, again, that one I suppose there's a lot of horrific things in it, but it is more. It does veer more towards thriller.
I think you're gonna have a lot of those because, like, this isn't one on my list, but it's in my honorable mentions. Like I had 7 on there. That is not a horror movie. That's a suspense thriller.
Not by
I-
I don't know purist
Studio
standards,
standards, yeah, pure standards would be a good one, yeah. But I mean,
but
there's
I
some
mean there's horrific
horrific,
things.
yeah, the whole gluttony and the
Oh yeah, all the
uh,
murders.
yeah, all that stuff is well, even down to
Lust.
Gwyneth's head in a box.
Spoiler for a movie from '95.
That was 95.
Yeah,
God, that's right. I watched it in the budget theater. I remember walking out going, "Oh my god."
that movie blew
Um,
me. I watched it on VHS. Blew me the fuck away. I couldn't
I have it on
believe.
VHS.
I do too. I love that VHS box because all the Seven Deadly Sins are in watermarks around the box.
Yep.
It's just so awesome.
Green Room. I'm writing that one down. All right.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart is a disgusting villain in there.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's bad to the bone.
I'm gonna put that in parentheses because that makes me actually want to watch it even more.
Oh, it's just fantastic though. Anton Yelchin, R.I.P.
Damn it. I'm so far behind. There's so many things I gotta watch. When you come up for Halloween, we got some watching to do.
Well, I got that on Blu-ray, so I'll bring it.
Yes, bring that. Let's see. What was my next one? Um, so I'm out of runner-ups. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
just gonna
now you
say
gotta.
it. The Craft, '96 with
Okay.
Bayek or whatever. I actually, it is a horror movie, but to a purist, I would let them argue that it's not. But technically, it is a horror movie.
I would say it is because it's witches.
Yep, exactly.
And it
It's
was rated R, wasn't it? Was it rated R?
You know what? I don't know because back then
Right.
PG-13 was
You could get
still
away with a
good.
lot more.
Yeah, today's PG-13 is not. It's to get teenagers in. It's not to be like back then when it was PG-13. It was still could be quality writing. Where today they're doing it just to get people in.
Yeah.
They take away from the writing. But yeah, I did
Like
the.
in that.
I
Yeah, I
always
would say
liked the
that was.
Craft.
I would say that was a horror.
It's one that I know they talked about doing a sequel, and as far as I know, they never did.
I leave it alone at this point. It's
I would too.
20,
Yeah.
25 years old. There's no
Wh-
reason.
What's the water boy chick's name? Bayek? Saya
Cruise the
Bayek?
bulk.
Cruise Ball. Yeah. Her name always sounded like late 80s, early 90s grudge band like Veruca Salt.
Oh yeah.
So
Cruise the bulk.
I always like that. But there's the scene where she like has that crazy like and she's holding the scissors or
Yeah.
whatever and she's like floating at the Empire Records chick. And I don't know
God,
anyone's name. I just know what they've been in.
you
And
are bad. Wait,
I I am, but you know who I'm talking about.
I do.
In fact, in the Craft, she's wearing a wig because she shaved her head for Empire Records.
Robin Tunney.
Robert Tunney, yes, yes. Also in End of Days, which surprisingly
Oh
I liked
God.
that. It was a horrible
Yeah.
movie, but it was a fun watch.
You just liked it for that double three-way scene.
There was a devil three-way scene. Are you thinking Devil's Advocate?
No, no, that's all sex. There was a three-way scene in End of Days.
How the hell do I not remember that?
You probably should brush up on it.
I guess I'll have to watch that again.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
didn't care for that, but yeah.
what's your next one?
You're next.
I own it. I've never seen it.
Yes, you have. We watched it in Comic Con.
Remind me.
The home invasion, but the guys in like the animal masks, they kill the family. But then that one chick was a survivalist, so she turns the tables on them.
We watched Don't Breathe. I don't remember your next.
No, you're next. We watched in the hotel room.
We did?
Yeah. Yep.
Was I falling asleep?
Probably. It was late after the con.
Because I know I've wanted to see it.
Well, watch it again.
Damn it! Now I want that's going on my list. Because you know what? I haven't, and I've been wanting to watch it. So there's another one going on.
Yeah,
Because now I'm thinking of
Aaron.
The Strangers, and I want to see that too.
Aaron, one of the best badasses in horror movies.
Who's in your next?
Nobody famous.
Oh, then I definitely want to see it. Because you know how I
Well,
feel
I guess
about that.
Barbara Crampton's in it, but she's only famous in horrors.
I'd probably recognize her if I saw her.
It's
I'm so bad with names. Well, now I gotta look it up though too. Well, I'll look it up later. All right. I'm actually surprised. Killer Clowns was our closest one, and the funny thing is, it was in my list. I took it out and put it into the horde. In the, I took it out for Boba Hotep. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have left it in there, but I got a soft spot for Bruce. My next one is, as much as I didn't want to put it in here, I really freaking liked it. The Cabin in the Woods.
oh yeah.
It obviously I don't like it because we were writing the script to Cabin in the Woods.
And then
Um,
they took our knees out.
just hoard us on that one. But that I actually it's one of my top movies.
It's fun, but the rewatchability isn't there for me.
It the end is good for me though. I've watched it a few times and it gets worse each time. Not worse in the sense as it's bad, just worse as in like you said it doesn't have a lot of replayability. But it's kind of cool to pause it at the end.
When the
Um,
fist comes out of the ground.
Well, no, like when all the different animals that you don't
Oh, they're getting
see.
unleashed.
Yeah, so it's so what I ended up eventually doing, and of course it wrecked it, so I haven't watched the movie since, is I just watched a YouTube video where it shows all the different demons and stuff. But I thought that was yeah, it's kind of an unusual suspect. It's a one-time watcher, but
Yeah,
it's
that movie,
good.
a
It
decent run, but once you know the secret at the end of The Usual Suspects, it's over.
oh god, yeah. Yeah, it's good for that one shock and then you're like, "Oh, that's good. We're done. I'm not buying this." I
Yeah,
own it. It I was
you
a
own
little
everything at a video store.
well, that's why I think I own it. Yeah, I don't know how I got it. It's got to be from that. I'm a little surprised, just a little. So my last one I think's on your list. I'll let you go next.
Well, I got two then, because you started.
You got two still?
I got two left because you started.
How do you have two if oh, because you would
You
end.
started.
Gotcha. I'm losing it. I thought you
Yeah.
meant you have two in a row to say, and I'm like, no, I got one left.
No,
I got what
I
you're
have
saying.
my next one is It Follows.
I've never watched it. I'm writing that down too.
That
I
is a
know I
great
wanted
John
to see it.
Carpenter-esque Halloween type movie. Awesome.
Damn
You have to. It makes you watch the background of every frame to see if the fucking thing is coming. Because you
it.
never know, because it can take the shape of anything. So every time you watch the movie in the background, like, oh my god, is that it coming up on him? No, it's just some person.
Oh,
Because
so is
you pass it to person to person. So this guy has it, and he passes it on to the girl with through sex, so it doesn't kill you.
have I seen that?
I don't know.
Is there another movie where just by touching they pass it on and it might not be a horror, it might be an action adventure type suspense.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's another movie kind of like that too, where if you just touch the person, you pass it on, so you never know who has it.
Wasn't
If
that
you're
that Denzel Washington movie?
the what?
Wasn't that Denzel Washington movie, Fallen?
Yeah, was it Fallen? No, Fallen was with Michael Douglas, but it was the Denzel
No, that's
Washington
Falling
movie.
Down.
You are correct. I was just testing
Of
you.
course I am. Bullshit. We'll let you
Fallen,
pass this time.
Fallen with John Goodman. You mean?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, he was not the strong part of that movie.
Nobody
Um,
was. Even Denzel was like, ugh.
you know what? I liked that movie. You know what it was? I liked the premise of the movie.
The premise is very good, but
Yeah,
the
the movie. You're right.
execution,
The movie itself was not that good, which is kind of a shame because even though I think John Goodman's a woke bastard, I think Denzel Washington's probably my lifetime. Him and Clint Eastwood are probably the best actors of my lifetime.
yeah, there's no argument.
Yeah, it's. I mean, anyone who doesn't think um, Denzel's good, then they only saw him in Fallen.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's it. That's funny. I always like that I can say movies to you or describe a movie to you and you can get it. You know, I used to be that way back in the video store days, but not anymore. It followed. You have that one?
I just said it.
No, you have it in your possession.
Yeah, Blu-ray.
Bring it up. Bring that one up
Yeah,
with you
yeah, I'll
too.
bring that. Yeah.
I really want to see that one. All right, my last one, and you have one last one, so that'd be
Hmm.
awesome if we both agreed on the same one. Trick or Treat.
Congratulations, we agree.
I was like, how are you not saying this freaking movie? And I
I
put
was
it at
saving
the
it for
end of
the
mine
end.
on
I was
purpose.
saving it. Me too. I was saving it for the end because I figured if we had an overlap, that was going to be it.
Yep, I did too. And the funny thing is, Killer Clowns was my other one too. I do not know why. I had to get Bruce Campbell in there.
Sure.
And what I should have done was I should have took the craft off and put Hotep in. It's just I don't know the one scene with Veruca Salt. I know that's not her name. Um, the one scene where she's floating at Robin Tooney and
Yeah,
she's just screaming.
I still think that the craft counts.
That that's a horror. Yeah, yeah. I just Bruce Campbell. My loyalty to him, even though he is technically a Hollywood actor, he's a SAG.
But he doesn't live there.
That's true. He's an Oregoner. It
Oregonian.
Trick or Treat. So I
Yep.
watched.
And I know they've been talking about making a sequel to that for years, but I hope they don't. Just leave it.
So there's one. It's not a sequel, and I saw it at the Green Bay Film Festival because Angie and I go to that every year, and they usually do a horror movie at the end. This year was more of a suspense. It actually took place in Wisconsin, and it was pretty good. But last year they did one, and it's in the same sense of where there's multiple stories.
An
Billy from
anthology, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and Billy from Gremlins is in it. He works at the. They're like telling stories at the radio station, but they're happening as they're telling them the stories.
Yeah,
And Billy works there. It's not as good as Trick or Treat. It is a direct rip off of Trick or Treat,
yeah.
but it's still good. It's it's much better if you've never seen Trick or Treat. Once you've seen Trick or Treat, then it's not nearly as good, but it's still good because it's horror. But
And it's another nail in WB's coffin that they don't know what the fuck they're doing because they buried that movie for years and then dumped it on DVD.
WB did
Yep,
Trick or Treat's a WB movie.
yep,
It's a phenomenal movie.
yep.
When did we first see that? I feel like the first time I ever watched it was at Comic Con. Well, Bruce
I probably
Campbell's thing.
no, that was Tales from Halloween, Tales of Halloween.
That's kind of like Trick or Treat, also
Yeah,
though.
it was an anthology. Yeah,
I watched Trick or Treat at home then because I didn't see it in the theaters.
it wasn't in the theaters. I just
It
said it.
never even made a theatrical debut.
No,
Really?
they sat on it for like 4 or 5 years and then dumped it on DVD.
That's right. I did not see it with you because I feel like one day we were just talking about it and we're like Sam and blah blah blah. And, because the one that we saw had Boswick, Barry Boswick, or
Yeah,
whatever his name is, because he was actually there on stage talking about it.
yeah, that was
And
Tales of Halloween.
in fact, as far as Tales from Halloween, damn, that could have actually made my list. I
But like you, I
like
don't remember enough about it.
that's see, that's a problem. The one I remember the most is the one with Boswick in it, actually.
Yeah,
And if anyone hasn't seen it, for that story alone, I think they should. That's dark. That was a dark
it
fucking
was. Yeah,
episode. Holy crap.
I think it was like, what was that? The first one?
I know. I think it was about midway through.
It was with the one with the female cop was at the end, right?
Yes, I think that was it. That
Yeah,
was pretty dark
that
too.
wasn't bad. Yeah, that wasn't
You
bad.
know, the more I'm thinking about it, because there was the pool house one too.
Yeah,
The more I'm remembering it, the more we're talking about it, and I
maybe I just haven't seen it since then. It's kind of faded.
I've only seen it twice. Once at Comic Con with you, and then Angie and the kids watched it with me. People are like, "You let your kids watch?" My kids are adults. Not that it would have mattered, but
I
we
still remember
watched it
Ross
again
hitting.
for Halloween, I think.
I still remember Ross hitting the ceiling and "Don't breathe."
Oh God, yeah, yeah, that was hilarious. He was only 16 then.
Yeah, I remember just seeing a shape next to me go flying. I was like, oh, yeah,
That was a good movie. That was an intense
that
movie.
was.
It
And it would
that
have made my list, but they made a sequel. So
You know what? It was on my list, and then I remembered the sequel, and I'm like, "Fuck! They made a sequel of this."
yeah,
There
I don't
was
know
so
why.
The problem is with horror. That was a good call having it be non-franchise because you killed like 99% of my list in my head instantly.
Yeah,
It The only thing that would have made it a little harder was a budget because like Cabin in the Woods was over $1 million. Actually,
yeah, but a lot of horror movies are made for under $1 million.
so Bubba Hotep was made for $1 million. Exactly $1 million.
Well, that would have counted.
It
If it would have cost one more dollar, no,
Damn it, how did Boba Hotep? I should have never put it in my list. I should have left Killer Clowns in there. But I do
it's all
like
right.
that we both finished off with the same one.
We had the same one at the end, and that's what counts.
Yeah, Boba Hotep. Well, I can't. Well, oh, it didn't make the list. Oh, how did it make it? You know what? It was supposed to get pulled out because it's also in my honorable mentions. I must have screwed up when I was doing the list because Bobo Hotep was actually supposed to get put in my honorable mentions because of the fact that it's also a comedy, and our next podcast does our top 5 comedies for under $1 million.
Yep,
And it just squeaked in at $1 million.
could have
Uh,
counted it on that one, but now you burned it. So
I know. Well, and the reason I wanted it to be an honorable mention is I thought it was funny that it could have technically fit in both categories because it was never a franchise either.
it's a nice bridge to the next one.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. As I feel myself. Well, should we end this and anyone who's listening can wait till the next one comes out to hear the comedy one?
Till the next episode.
Yeah.